Is morality objective or subjective? In recent times, we have had a plethora of people making the claim that morality is subjective. Morality is objective because murdering someone is wrong. The end. Introduction. We live in a world that deeply values progress, justice, and human rights. We celebrate historical shifts toward equality and condemn the atrocities of the past, fully believing that our moral tracking has improved over time. Yet, a popular modern sentiment suggests that morality is entirely subjective, a fluid byproduct of culture, era, and personal preference. This creates a massive philosophical contradiction. If right and wrong are merely matters of opinion, then the very foundations of justice, debate, and social evolution crumble into meaninglessness. To make sense of our shared human experience, we have to look past the surface of moral relativism and confront the reality that some things are factually, undeniably wrong. This argument claims that the very idea of moral progress depends on the existence of objective moral truths. People naturally view events such as overthrowing tyranny, abolishing slavery, or expanding civil rights as genuine improvements rather than mere cultural changes. However, if morality is entirely subjective or socially constructed, these developments cannot be considered objectively better, only different, like changing artistic tastes. Under moral relativism, historical slaveholders would have been morally justified by the standards of their own time, making it impossible to say they were truly wrong. The argument concludes that meaningful moral progress requires an objective, unchanging standard by which societies can be judged across cultures and history. This argument maintains that people do not treat moral disagreements as mere differences in personal taste, because unlike preferences such as favorite ice cream flavors, moral disputes involve appeals to evidence, fairness, and reason, as though there are objective answers to discover. It further argues that history's greatest moral reformers, such as Martin Luther King Jr., Susan B. Anthony, and Mahatma Gandhi, demonstrate the existence of objective morality. Although they opposed the accepted moral standards of their societies, they are now regarded as heroes rather than villains. According to the argument, this recognition is only possible if prevailing social norms can be objectively mistaken and individuals can discover moral truths that transcend cultural consensus. It's easy to look at the vast tapestry of human history and assume morality is all over the place. One culture buries its dead, another burns them. One culture wages war for honor, another isolates itself for peace. On the surface, it looks like complete chaos. But if you peel back the superficial layers, you find a remarkably rigid, universal blueprint. No enduring civilization in the history of the world has ever flourished by rewriting the fundamentals. You will never find a society that builds statues to cowards, rewards rampant treachery among friends, or praises the random, unprovoked slaughter of its own children. The baseline conditions for a conscious, social species to survive require core values: reciprocity, protection of the vulnerable, and a baseline of trust. The vast majority of cultural differences aren't disagreements about morality, they're disagreements about facts. If an ancient culture sacrificed a harvest virgin, they didn't do it because they thought murder was inherently awesome. They did it because they genuinely believed a catastrophic drought would kill the entire tribe if they didn't. They were operating under a deeply mistaken view of meteorology, but their core value, preserving the lives of their people, remained the same. When the facts update, the behavior changes, but the underlying objective value never moves. The absurdity test, the ultimate equalizer. This argument contends that rejecting objective morality leads to moral relativism, where the beliefs of a genocidal dictator and a selfless humanitarian become equally valid because there is no objective standard by which to judge them. Under such a view, actions like genocide or torture cannot be called truly wrong, only disapproved of by individuals or societies with greater power, reducing justice to mere force rather than truth. The argument instead maintains that humans possess an innate moral awareness that recognizes certain acts, such as torturing an innocent child for amusement, as objectively wrong. Like our senses, which can occasionally be mistaken but still reliably reveal an external physical world, moral intuition is presented as an imperfect yet genuine means of perceiving an independent moral reality rather than creating it. The argument defends objective morality by challenging the claim that moral values are merely subjective or that Hume's is-ought gap makes objective ethics impossible. It contends that if no objective ought could arise from facts, then rational obligations, such as accepting valid logical conclusions, would also be subjective, undermining reason itself. Just as mathematics and science remain objectively true despite being understood through imperfect human minds, moral truths can exist independently of human opinion, with moral intuition serving as a tool for discovery rather than invention. The essay also argues that the inability to define good in purely physical terms does not make it subjective, since many fundamental concepts, such as time, space, and consciousness, are irreducible yet objectively real. Drawing on this reasoning, it concludes that morality is rooted in the objective structure of rationality itself, making ethical duties discoverable, universally binding, and independent of cultural preferences or religious foundations. Conclusion. Ultimately, moral relativism sounds tolerant in theory, but it completely falls apart in practice. It turns our deepest convictions into mere preferences, reduces history's greatest heroes to rule breakers, and strips us of the ability to meaningfully condemn genuine evil. Human history, human language, and our own core intuitions all point toward the same reality. Morality is not something we invent, but something we discover. Just as we rely on the physical laws of the universe to navigate our surroundings, we rely on objective moral truths to navigate our lives together. Without that unchanging yardstick, justice is just an illusion and might make right.